Well, good morning, Kelowna and Victoria and Penticton. Here we are, another beautiful Saturday morning, and it is the garden show for you with Ken Silverdale and Don Burnett here. Today is going to be the Farmers Almanac Day, Ken.
Right.
I see all my little tags in here. I've actually read it. First time in years I've ever actually gone through the Farmers Almanac. Canadian version, we'll talk about that as well. Let's do the tips and plants of the week. My tip of the week is keep a supply of composted mulch like nature's gold in a place which doesn't freeze, just in case we get a hard spell this winter and some tender things will need some cover.
Wow.
A lot of us have some tender things out in the garden. Plant of the week, kind of silly at this time of year, but it's not. Geranium. They're going nuts right now. Hard to believe how beautiful they are right now. It seems they really like this cold weather. And geraniums make great cut flowers that last a long time. People don't usually use geraniums as cut flowers, but we've got them in the house now. Beautiful. We got our two favorite varieties, the apple blossom and this really deep red that we have. And I carry those through every year. Got some cuttings growing right now. My plant of the week, the lowly geranium.
Well, there you go. I also have a tip and a plant, and my tip of the week is about roses, and that we get a lot of people doing a lot of pruning out there right now. And if you haven't pruned your roses, you probably don't want to prune them too much. You can do light pruning on them just to make them look reasonable to get them through the winter. But that rose is already set up to make it through the winter. It's got all its buds, everything's sealed up, it's good to go. They can suffer desiccation if you have too many cuts on some types of roses. So your extremely winter hardy ones are not too bad, but a lot of them are not. So anyway, hold off with your pruning of your roses until spring. That's generally the best way. And if you haven't mulched them, as Don was saying, mulch your roses now because it really, really helps them get through the winter, buffers them, the roots from a hard, cold frost. All right, my plant of the week this week is the hydrangea group, and with all the hydrangeas that I see around, they still are looking quite good. They've got the brown seed heads or flower heads on them, and those heads are looking really nice and not bad. It's always something to look at. I mean, you can always cut them off later. You don't have to do them right now, but it's always good, I find, just to have something to look at, something of interest in the garden. And then when it starts to snow, then go out and cut them off, and that gets you through the winter. Right, that's my tips and plans for this week. Remember to check growercoach.com and Grower Coach on YouTube.
Ken, fantastic. Talking about that, I mean, there was a theory, or actually a proven fact, that the wood that is in the fall in some of these shrubby plants, woody plants, actually it helps with winter hardiness. They store something, or I forget what it was, but it was something about not pruning in the fall because they need that wood to get through the winter.
It's just because they store
some
carbohydrates, and they also store the chlorophyll that came from the plant, like when they drop their leaves. That's why when the leaves change color, they're taking all the green, which is the chlorophyll, and they're storing it in their stems and branches and saving it for next year.
Interesting.
And so chopping it off does a couple things. One, opens it up to some frost injury on these open wounds, but it also could potentially cause some desiccation where those start to dry out, and the plant's actually, it's not sealed up so nicely with its with its natural methods. And so there are some open opportunities for damage there, and disease access too, which is the third thing. So diseases can access inside the plant because, again, they're all sealed up and neat and tidy, ready to go into winter, and then somebody comes along and opens a bunch of wounds on it, and it's already dormant, so it doesn't have time to heal. So personally, I try to keep most of my pruning to the late winter or early spring, and that's a good time to do it. I mean, a lot of people have done it. People have been doing it for years. It's not the end of the world. Your garden should be neat, reasonably neat and tidy over the winter. But again, if we can get the right plants in the right spots to begin with, we don't have to do much work with them at all. We just leave them and let them grow and do their own thing.
And that brings up that point that I've got this new methodology with some of my roses that I got from Helen. They're Dan Bruce type roses that want to go rampant. And, of course, I've been cutting them back every year. This year, they were so beautiful after that first blossom, and the roses, the shrub, it came on so nice and long branches. I just hesitated to cut them off. So I built this obelisk for the one rose, and I'm going to do it for 3 other roses too. An obelisk that carries the rose up and holds it in the air. And I'm going to see what it does next year. I think it's going to be fabulous.
I think it's really cool. Like that's one of the neatest things. And that miniature rose is really winter hardy.
Yeah.
Really good that way. But I think what happens is people keep them so tiny that they sort of forget that it's the rose itself that's miniature, not the entire plant. Because plants can get quite large. I've seen them quite, reasonably large, 6-7 feet high, quite easily.
Well, my miniature climber that I had called New Day was big. I finally took it out. It got old, but yeah. Anyway,
cool.
we got a caller, and we're going to talk about the Farmers Almanac today, and we got a great farmer on the line right now, and her name is Ariel. Good morning, Ariel.
You guys, you crack me up. Anyway, listen, I have a mystery for you.
Perfect.
We need that.
Okay, so I have a fairly large pot of 3 Christmas cactuses, Schlumbergia. 2 of them were white, and one of them was red. And I didn't know it was red until I actually had planted it because I thought I was putting all 3. But guess what? This year, they're all white. Now tell me why that is.
It's a mystery of space. I don't know. That's a mystery. That is, they can revert occasionally, but usually, if they're going to revert, they would usually revert to a reddish, orangish color, like scarlety color, because that would be the reversion going back to the original color.
I know.
Ariel, are you living a clean life? Have you said your prayers this morning?
You know what? I'm going to send you guys a picture of this thing. I'm telling you what, one of the plants was all red, and it's not my imagination.
And you still have your yellow one.
Now, have you been taking anything, medication or anything like that?
The yellow one sits away. It's in a totally different pot, and then I've got a salmon one, and I've got an orange. I don't know, another one. I can't remember what it is, but they're all coming out at once.
Isn't that fabulous? It's just they're wonderful to have indoor plants that bloom. And for me, I really, 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 really like the white ones. So if you've got extra white ones, that's a good thing, I would say, because it's a little hard to find white ones. I found a couple. I do own one.
Do you want some of
Well,
this?
I've got one now, but I was searching for, I like the odd colors, something that's different. The yellow one is still my favorite, but the white is right up there with it. The pure white, no pink, no nothing. I used to have a white one that was pink in the middle, but now I've got a white one that's pure white.
I'm definitely going to send you guys, but to your famous partner there. I will send you guys a picture of it.
Fabulous.
And the amaryllis bloom has got 6 blooms on the top of it, and it's got another spike coming up, and then the big white one. Cool. She's coming up too.
Well, Ken's got his drool cup on now, so you better send him a cutting. But I've seen plants. I've seen Schlumbergia especially. With somebody said, well, "Hey, I've got a Schlumbergia, and it's 2 colors." Well, they got 2 plants in there. There's two different cuttings in the same
multiple
pot.
cuttings. Yeah.
But in your case, we have no idea. We've stumped the gardeners today, and I have no idea what's going on there.
Oh, yay!
But I'd love Ken to have a cutting of that because he's drooling. He's drooling right now.
Well, I'm gonna send you a picture right now.
Perfect.
Thank you, dear.
That'll be to you, Don. So
okay. I'll
right.
be expecting a picture to come into my email or my text.
Your text. It'll be text.
So you're going to hear a ding because that's what my text does.
Yeah,
anyway,
there you go.
Thanks for the call, Ariel. I always appreciate it. Okay,
thanks for calling. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Now there's an enthusiastic gardener. I'll tell you. Look at. We arrived this morning to the station, and here's an envelope here, and it's an early Christmas gift to Ken and I. We both received calendars from the Abkhazi Gardens, and I just want to publicly thank them for that. Beautiful calendar.
Incredible.
Beautiful calendar, and maybe, again, we could have someone come on and tell us how our listeners in the Okanagan can get a hold of this because you mailed us some calendars, and the actual postal service is actually working now. So this is great, and it tells the story of the Bacazzi couple, and it gives pictures of the gardens, which is really exciting.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
Now Ken's drool cup is filled. He's filling up now. So anyway, we're going to take that first break of the morning, and we do invite your calls, 250-862-2525 to get through to us. 1-888-780-4273 is our long-distance free of charge phone call. So give us a shout, and we'll be back with the Garden Show after this short break. I'm looking at a picture of a Schlumbergia, a Christmas cactus. Ariel, it's not pure white. I'm going to say it's not pure white.
It's the white with the pink center-ish.
It's very white, but there's some pink in there. So, it's, okay.
That's
nice.
What I was saying about
Still fun.
the white is the pure white one is very difficult. I found it difficult. It's probably common now. I don't know. Times
pure white with
change.
nothing in it, not
No
a
pink.
speck of anything, just
no
pure
pink.
angelic white.
Yeah, because the pink is one of the main pigments that is part of its natural existence.
Yeah, what's the native one like?
I think it's just that scarlety red color. Yeah.
Interesting. While I was looking through earlier on this year, when I was looking through for our 2000th show, I was looking through all the old gardens show, the history of it, right? Mm-hmm. All the different radio, the pages that I wrote out all those years, every garden show. Anyway, in there I found a couple of pamphlets, and one is put out by Corona. Yep. Corona Shears, and it is a book that was printed in 1982, I think 82, something like that in there, and. 81. So it was just shortly before the radio show started. So that's what this principles of pruning. Mm-hmm. Interesting. I was reading some of it, and some of it kind of a little bit of ambiguity going on, a little bit of just wrong. Mm-hmm. But as time goes on, we change our thinking on things, and more science and whatnot. Anyway, the pruning thing. And then how to make your world more beautiful with bedding plants, put out by Ball Superior, I think. Bedding Plants Incorporated. I don't know if they're still involved. I should check it out because they were a big organization called Bedding Plants, BPI, Bedding Plants Incorporated. We used to go to sessions down in Denver, Colorado. That was their center there, and we go down there, and that was where I first saw my very first robotic transplanter of seedlings.
Yeah.
And they had plug trays, Ken, and this robot thing, you put the plug tray through the robot, and underneath the plug tray were pots that were coming along underneath the plug tray.
Yeah.
And the robot would decide which plug he's going to push through it.
Right.
He would gently push it through with a special cup thing, and it would push the plug through the bottom of the tray into the pot below. And that was Al and I went to that, and that was about 1977. And there was a robotic thing.
Wow.
Now I can imagine what's going on now. And Brian Mitter spoke about that when we were in Seattle a couple of seasons ago. And he spoke on the European, how far ahead the European growers are than we are here. And they've always been setting the pace, right? Setting the pace of technology.
Well, now I think here we're all up to date on most of that, except for maybe the small operations that are still doing it by hand. But yeah, most are definitely robotic transplanters. Yeah. And they're robotic seeders, robotic flat fillers, robotic everything.
Watering.
Yeah, everything gets done automatically. But the planting is really cool. And the ones that I saw were like these two pinchers that would come down from the top and slide in around the plant, pull the plant actually right out, and place them into pots. And as it would push the soil out of the way as it went in and release the plant. And then they had a vibrator, a vibrating bench that would settle the soil, and then it would go in through a wash area that would wash them. And
that makes a little more sense than the one we saw in the 70s, where they were pushing it through from the top because the plant had to be in exact the right height or size. Otherwise, you'd crush the plant.
Yeah,
Like
and
it was,
I think these ones, at least the new ones, are sort of laser guided, so they can actually see where they're going.
Yeah.
I know they have these laser weeding systems now for farms and that sort of thing, for vegetable production and that. So there's lots coming down the pipes as far as that goes, and that really makes sense, I think, to do that. But there's just, it's hard to I think, express the importance of having humans actually out there dealing with a lot of these things, because it is.
But I wonder if the robots wear coveralls like jeans and things like that.
I wonder
Do they carry
have
shears? Do they carry
workman's
shears with them?
compensation, or I wonder
crazy.
if something goes wrong, does WCB pay for
What
their
a world we live in.
wire that's come loose?
So in this bedding plant book, it's quite interesting because, of course, back in 1981. Actually, no. This one here was 1976. This bedding plant was 76. Yeah. Probably got this pamphlet when we were in Denver.
Yeah,
in 76,
yeah.
in 77, and how to make your world more beautiful with bedding plants, and pretty, the amazing amount of new introductions from 1981 to now is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, not only in just varieties of petunias and marigolds and salvia and things, but species.
Yeah.
The number of species that have been introduced. New introductions of stuff. Well, even Bacopa. Bacopa wasn't around in 76. There was nobody grew Bacopa.
Is Calibrachoa around then?
Calibrachoa was not around either. No.
There's quite a few, and the new ones they're just fabulous. They've come up with new plants that might be popular in other parts of the world, and if they fit into the same category and can be grown along, with other plants, or sometimes they hybridize them to make them easier to grow.
Yeah.
And then away you go. They can distribute them throughout the world, really.
Yeah, it is. It's incredible how things have come along. I remember we were there, and in that particular one in Denver was the brand new Carefree seeded geraniums. Okay, we always grew zonal geraniums by vegetative cuttings. This was a brand new seed out called Carefree geraniums, and they came in pink, white, and red. Carefree geraniums. Yeah. And Will Carlson, who was helping develop those, got up and said, "We don't want to call them seeded geraniums. It's a seedy name. We want to call them." And one of the problems with them was that they would drop their petals and things, right?
Yeah.
Once in a while, the early ones. And he said, so what we call them is self-cleaning hybrids.
There you go.
Okay. Rather than seeded geraniums.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to go back to the phone lines here. And we have, just hang on a second here. We will get that just one moment because I have this here. Bill is on the air. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How's it going?
Excellent, thanks.
Pretty good, thanks.
Oh, good. So I'm standing here and I'm looking at my black currant bush, and I'm going to go out and just rake up all the leaves and everything that have fallen off of it. And I've got all these branches that are shooting up like 12 feet vertically, and I'm thinking about cutting those off today while I'm cleaning things up. Should I wait till spring?
Well, I think with Ken's thoughts there, I think waiting till spring is fine. You don't have to do it in spring, but keeping the integrity of the plant through the winter might be a good idea by just leaving it and then do it in the spring. However, a black currant and a red currant, you prune differently than each other. Okay,
right.
A black currant you don't prune the same way as a red currant, and you're going to say, "Well, what's the difference?" And I'm going to say, "I can't remember."
You're going to tell me to look up your pamphlet.
No, one's red, one's black.
One's red, one's black. But there is one produces on newer wood, one produces on older wood. It's interesting. So you want to look that up.
The black currant is on the older wood.
Yeah. Yeah, so you may want to keep the bases of those stems for future fruiting.
Yeah, because the plant, it's the main stalks or trunks of the plants are maybe 5 feet tall, but I've got these, branches that are, maybe a half-inch diameter where they're coming out of the main trunk, and they're going up another 5 feet.
Wow, that's amazing. That's an extremely vigorous plant. So,
God, the plant's as old as my house, which was 1955.
Well, it's liking whatever it's getting. Whatever you're doing is a good thing. So, but what it is it's excited and it's growing, and it would be better off if you just left it through the winter, but if you wanted to, you could just cut it off at about the height of the rest of the plant for the winter, and then in the springtime go out and re-prune it down to about maybe 18 to 24 inches lower than that. And so then that would allow it to sort of branch from within. And that can be future wood, that you're going to keep for the future.
From what I've read, you want to refresh them regularly, as it were.
Yeah, rejuvenate
and because there's actually, there's 3 main plants. Because there's 3 main trunks, about 2-3 feet apart each, and I know I'm slowly getting new. I'm going to call them suckers for the sake of argument, but I've got new wood coming up out of the ground, and I'm working on trying to get the oldest trunks out completely.
Yeah, total rejuvenation, right? Yeah, and even if you just take one of the older bits out each year, that can be good, and usually that should be adequate.
Bill, I really got a kick out of Ken's description of your plant being excited. And I would
well,
be...
it's an exciting neighborhood.
I'd be excited if I live in Bill's backyard, too. Very excited, yeah. Okay.
Okay, gentlemen, have a wonderful day.
Yeah, you
thanks,
too.
Bill.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
And we have Doug calling in from Summerland. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was going through the garden centers, and I noticed that they have some saffron crocuses there for sale. Now, they've all sprouted, and they're about an inch or more longer. Am I too late to the game to try these or not?
The crocus has sprouted in the container or in the bag or whatever.
In the package.
How much have they got going? How much?
Probably an inch or more.
Oh no, they're fine. I'd get them in the ground. Sure.
But don't they bloom in the fall? And
yeah, they
do. They do, but it's not going. The thing is, they're probably not going to bloom for you this fall. Of course, they might even, if you put them in now, they might even be dumb and bloom first thing in the spring. They could, but probably what's going to happen is they'll grow. They'll put on foliage in the spring, and then the foliage kind of dies back a bit to a degree, and then in the fall they come on with a bloom. I've got saffron crocus that have been in my garden probably for 20 years.
Okay, so they'll be okay.
I'll be okay. Are they on sale?
They're on sale right now. They're about half price. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Grab them.
Yeah. So just keep in mind that in nature they would have been dormant all summer, and then all they do in the fall is they'll shoot up their flowers and bloom, and do that for a couple of weeks, and then they'll die off again and go dormant for the winter. So that's all they are. Is they're finished their bloom now. They bloomed in the bag, and they're going to be good to go.
They may be confused, but they're going to live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Okay, Doug.
Yeah.
Right on.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
And on that note, we're going to take a short break. And it's the bottom of the hour, and we invite your calls when we come back with The Garden Show after this short break. Right on. Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to focus today on the Canadian edition of the Old Farmers Almanac. I've got pages, I actually read it, Ken. I haven't read it before. Fascinating thing in a way. Got lots to talk about. But first of all, we're going to go to the phone lines because we've got our friend Dan Bruce. Now, Dan Bruce, of course, he looks at the Farmer's Almanac like it was the Bible because he just checks it out all the time, makes sure we know where we're going. Is that not correct, Dan?
I don't have a copy of it, and I've never actually consulted it.
I'll loan you mine. It's quite comedic, actually. It's other than the Bible, it's probably the oldest publication out there. It's been here since 1792 is when it first published, and I'll tell you, it's fascinating because I've never read it before. Of course, I've read little pieces of it and that, but I went through it because I wanted to talk about it more on the Garden Show today, and that's what we're going to do in the second half. But anyway, good morning, Dan. How are you doing?
Well, things are all right. We had a good rain the other night.
Yeah, we love the rain.
Some people got hail, but then that just shows you who behaves and who doesn't.
That's what it is.
Dan, my plant of the week this week was geraniums, because my geraniums are on steroids right now. And I'll bet you yours are too. Those beautiful geraniums you have in the door.
We haven't had a frost yet.
You haven't, eh?
The geraniums are still standing, and the nasturtiums are still standing. The alocasias on the veranda are still up.
Okay. This is the first time my alocasia, or colocasia I have, has suffered a little bit of burn. I'm going to chop it down, bring it inside pretty quick here. But up until this point, it hasn't been touched. But my geraniums are fine. My Swedish ivy's fine. There's lots of stuff that's still doing quite well. Some of the stuff I've forced into dormancy, not dormancy, but for instance, my ricinus plant, I've cut it right down, and it was okay. But you got to do stuff. You can't just let it, sit there. But the geraniums, that's why it's the plant of the week this week, because they make great cut flowers and they are tough.
So, yes, in general, I'm winterizing the place out here. The ornamental rhubarb, I have cut most of the leaves off, because once the leaves go yellow, there's no point in messing with them. So I just cut the leaves off and use them as mulch on the crown of the plant itself.
Oh, perfect. That's your tip of the week. That's your tip of the week.
Well, closely followed by the fact that I'm raking off the pathways onto the garden beds.
Right.
And some excess leaves go onto the compost. So I made a new compost container the other day. It's a big cylinder of rabbit wire.
Oh, right. Okay.
And we just dump stuff into it. And every once in a while you put a shovel full of soil in there. But
is that like a yogurt starter?
Or a sourdough or whatever starter you want. It's a compost starter.
Yeah.
But I certainly put all the ashes out of the fireplace in there. I dump out the contents of the vacuum cleaner. When the bag gets full, that goes in there.
Dog hair compost.
Dog hair. Hair is good. You should get to know your local barber and go and get the hair, because it's a slow release fertilizer.
Oh, really? There's another tip of the week. Holy mackerel, you're full of them today.
Yeah, so why waste it? And
yeah,
the fact that the compost is held in these upright sort of cylinders, they're about 3 feet across, means that you can get air into the to help rot the thing down. So these compost things rot very, very quickly.
Cool. What's the size of the openings on this particular wire you're using?
It's 1 by 2 inch.
1 inch by 2 inch. So it's quite small. That's good. And that holds, because that really helps contain the thing. It's not going to spill over and whatnot.
Well, it's a solid, rigid wire thing. So it doesn't. If you use chicken wire, what would happen is that the thing would look like a donut eventually.
Yeah.
Because the wire is not strong enough to hold the thing in. But this rabbit wire, as they call it, does.
It's called rabbit wire.
Yeah. At least that's what they called it when I bought it, which was 400 years ago.
Yeah. You buy that at a hardware store, I suppose?
Yeah, I think I got it at Barkerfield's.
Oh, at Barkerfield's. Yeah, they'd have it. Yeah, of course.
And you have inside information about what Barkerfield's have, so...
yeah, I do. Yeah. So Dan, in the garden right now, what are some of the things that you think people should be a little bit concerned about going into winter? I mean, some of the things that we grow in the Okanagan. Remember, we're speaking to folks in Victoria as well as the Okanagan. So.
Well, we have different issues in both places. But up here, I mean, if you've got evergreens, if you're struggling with rhododendrons or anything like that, these Russian laurels that are evergreen, and some of the magnolias make sure that they go into winter with lots of water, because people tend to blow out the lines
Well, they're kind of, yeah.
when they when it's time to do that, but that doesn't mean to say you stop watering.
Exactly. No, we've talked about that, and the folks that do the blowouts, have a schedule to keep, and so some of them have to blow it a little earlier than you want, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And you're right. You got to keep a hose handy, and to make sure that the hose is not frozen up. And it's good advice, Dan.
Well, throughout the winter, of course, the evergreen plant is still transpiring moisture.
Exactly. That's why they droop in the Okanagan when we get that real cold weather. The rhodies are just laying flat almost, and so are the laurels, and so the magnolia. Well, I don't know if the magnolia drooped a bit, but it sure got hit the last couple of years. My magnolia just barely made it through. She's looking pretty good right now, but those 2 winters were really hard on it.
Yes. So I have been watering the evergreen laurels that I have here were badly hit a few years ago, and we lost one completely dead, but the others are coming back from the ground, and some are actually coming back from quite high up on the branches. But those are being watered, and as I said, I'm raking the leaves off the pathways onto the beds, and that helps conserve moisture. It helps the worms to do their thing, and gets rid of the leaves off the pathway.
Yeah, no, and we noticed that when we were in Seattle a few years ago. We went for a little side tour to the Seattle Arboretum, and walking through, one of the people in the group said to the person, "Well, are you going to take the leaves off? Or you're going to rake your leaves up?" And she said, "Oh no, we never do that." She said, "We take the leaves off the pathway, put them onto the beds, and the beds it just composts down, and it keeps the weeds down. It keeps the pollinators happy through the winter.
Keeps the whole earth happy with all the microbes and worms and whatnot that are in there. They need sustenance over the winter as well. So feeds
and that's nature's way. That's what nature does. We humans want to clean everything up, but
you wouldn't get away with it in the city much. Because, as soon as the wind blows, it's all over your neighbor's yard, and then you get the complaints going. But it's nice if you have a place that you can do that. Like, I think at my place, I generally do that at my place too. But, it's interesting. It really works.
Well, and also if your leaves are wet or damp, they don't blow nearly so badly as if they're straight dry.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And to heck with the neighbors. I mean, you want a garden here. You don't want to worry about the neighbors.
Well, I remember when I had a truck, I used to sometimes drive around, and I would see this tempting bag of leaves put out on the side of the road, and I would stop the truck.
Any cans and cans and bottles beside that, or just the bag of
just the leaves?
Just the leaves.
Yeah, I've done that many times.
There you go.
Yep.
And in Victoria, of course, you get oak leaves, which are nice, because one thing we have up here in the Okanagan is this problem of alkaline soil.
Right.
And an acidic mulch is a good idea, and that's really why I compost most of the straight-up brown cardboard that comes my way.
Oh, really?
Tear it up or cut it up into smaller chunks and soak it and compost it.
Perfect.
Because that stuff is acidic. Anyone who works in museums would know that corrugated cardboard is bad to keep any archival documents in or anything like that. The acid in the cardboard is a bad thing on other kinds of paper.
Dan, you're full of tips today. It was great. I've documented it, and I'm going to use those tips later on when people forget that it was your tip.
Well, you're welcome to use them as you see fit.
So I can plagiarize Dan Bruce. There you go.
Yes.
Dan, we got to move on here. But thanks for the call. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Okay, buddy.
Yep. Thanks
Take
for
care.
calling. Bye.
Here we go. It's 8:45. It's time for one more break here before the big break at the mid show, and we'll come back with the garden show after this short break. Okay, let's just talk a little bit about what we're going to talk a lot about in the next segment, and that is the Farmers Almanac. This Canadian edition, they call it the Canadian edition. One of the things I will say right off the bat, yes, Canadian edition, and it does have some portions on it talking about the weather in Canada and the forecast for southern British Columbia. Not very precise. But if you get into the thing a little bit further, I mean, they've got every state and every county and everything in the United States covered, right down to, very, very, And anyway, I guess in a nutshell, I'm saying it's not as Canadian as you might think, even though it says the Canadian edition. It's got some Canadian stuff in it, but it's really more of an American publication. Not to say you shouldn't go out and get one, because it's fascinating reading, Ken. It's interesting. Yeah. It's a fun book. It's like reading.
Like a Reader's Digest almost, but do they actually have stories like that? But not as extensive as the Reader's Digest.
It's like the internet. In the past, it's full of stuff that it's okay,
you gotta
but it's
yeah.
questionable, and there's a lot of ambiguity, and whatever. Anyway, we're going to talk about that in the second part of the show. But we do invite your calls, of course. That's the whole thing about this garden show is we love to hear from the callers, whether it's a problem, whether you've got a plant problem, plant issue, whether you've got a landscape issue, whether you've got any kind of irrigation issue, anything like that. Or success.
Massive success.
Or some offer some advice to us, because we always listen to all the gardeners. There's no... you can go to the books, you can look at all the different articles, go to the internet and everything. But the best advice really you can get is an experienced gardener that's had experience in the garden. And this is what happened to me, and it happens every year. So what can you say about that? You can't really, ignore that. That's
I have
good.
to say that's something that can be disappointing, is for me to Google something. Then I can fairly quickly go through it all down the list and go, no, maybe, and then read that bit and then go, no, yes, based on the source, and then be able to read that and learn from it, right?
Yeah.
But I think the average person may not know that. And that's the sad part about a lot of the internet stuff, and especially the AI stuff, which is... almost, I'm not going to say always wrong, but it's often wrong. And just because, remember that AI, what it's trying to do is please you every single time. No matter what you say to it, it's going to have an answer.
Yeah.
And that can be really bad. Occasionally it'll say like, "Oh, I don't know." Not very often. Usually it'll say like, "Oh, I'll come up with something," and then they come up with something that's just wrong.
I don't even want to talk about AI, but anyway,
it's not useful in the plant world very much. No. It is in some areas, but you have to really be careful because the information is
there's so much abuse with it. It's just abuse. I'm on Facebook. I'm still an old-fashioned guy. I still do Facebook. I am on Instagram, but I don't touch it. And I'm on all sorts of these things, but I'm a Facebook guy. Anyway, so on Facebook, I keep getting this pop-ups or pages coming up. I forget the name of the people that send it, but they've got these absolute AI pictures of plants that are so outrageously wrong.
Yeah, you got to block it, right? Make sure you block those ones.
I don't mind it coming in, because every time I do, I put in there, "This is fake, please stop this," that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
there's 3 little dots up in the corner, and it'll tell you can block it.
Oh, I know.
Because when you block it, it tells the algorithm that that's potentially a toxic
Okay, well,
site.
I'm going to block it then. But it's just wrong. It's just absolutely wrong. And
they're trying to suck
comments,
people into buying something that's not real.
Yeah, the comments on there. "Oh, where can I get one? Oh, I love that. Isn't that beautiful? Lovely photo. Blah, blah, blah." All short little comments. Obviously, AI.
Yeah.
The comments.
Generated, yeah.
And if I put mine in, and I go look for my comment, it's not there, because they've wiped it out when I've said this is all fake. please stop doing this, Well, there you go. So that's AI. And I'm not really a fan of it right now. And I'm not a fan of it when it comes to music either. When you can take a poem and create a song out of it that's really not too darn bad and do it in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
They create a song. If you could put some lyrics in and say, what kind, you want country, you want rock, you want hip hop, what do you want?
Yeah.
And you put the poem in there and it comes out as a song. And I just think that is wrong. I spent many, many years writing articles for Gardens West Magazine, the Kelowna Capital News, all that stuff, and it's work. And now all I'd have to do is say, I want to write an article about propagating geraniums.
Yeah.
And it'll just come up and do the article for me, and then I go in and tweak it, and there's my article. Well, it's not my article. It's somebody else's article.
Yeah.
And it's just wrong. I just think it's absolutely wrong.
There you go.
Getting upset.
I have to get your opinion on that one.
I gotta get off this topic because I hate it. I'm still harvesting some grapes, Ken.
Still,
these little grapes that developed on the plant halfway through the season, and when I was harvesting the first crop, these little grapes were just small, and it was a kind of a secondary crop.
Yeah.
And now they're ripening up, and they're just delicious. They are as sweet as you can get now. Yeah. It's like ice wine almost.
Yeah. Just cool. Yeah, the cooling really helps to concentrate. It's like with sometimes with even carrots or parsnips as well. You let them go until they get a couple good hard frosts, and then you can just bury them right in the garden with some straw, or, maybe about 6 or 8 inches deep, or even more. 12 inches deep is good. And then throughout the winter, you can just go out and dig them throughout the winter, and they're just fresh and delicious. And I think the sugar levels are definitely boosted, because that's part of their antifreeze to get through the winter is having those high levels of carbohydrates.
That's the same thing with your pruning of the roses and things like that.
Yeah.
Same idea. So, Ken, I'm 75 years old. I've got a plant collection that is huge, okay? But I've decided, so that I don't put a burden on my family when I pass away and whatever, that I've got all these plants to deal with. I'm going to reduce my plant collection down to only rare and unusual plants.
That you can't live
mainly
without.
Succulents. Some of the ones that you just don't go into a garden center and see. Okay, if you want to see the Sansevierias, I've got a couple of Sansevierias that are very unique and odd. However, your regular snake plant things, I've got that one you gave me that I love. It's a very short, stubby one.
It's a good one.
That's a good one. Doesn't take up much room. It behaves itself, never gets bugs. It's beautiful.
And I think this is one of the things of keeping things in smaller pots, too, is that they can only grow so much. They're a little more maintenance to upkeep. But as soon as you start going into bigger
Oh.
pots, they love it. They're like, okay, and they double, triple in size, and then they're taking up the whole space. And this sort of, because a plant collection to me is similar to my rock collection. So I collect minerals and things, but I don't necessarily want to have a 20-pound specimen. I just need a little tiny specimen so that I can get a lot of them in a small space. And then I can get this wide scope of different minerals. And, it's great. Same with plants.
I didn't know that about you.
Small ones.
I didn't know that about you. I had a rock collection too when I was young. A very good rock collection, obsidian and all sorts of stuff in there, all labeled on a board.
Yep.
Took it to school to show the class, and I never brought it back. And it's somewhere in the school
world.
system.
Yeah, there you go.
I did that a couple of times when I was going to school. I took a transmission to school, an old international truck transmission from 1934, and I took it to school, took it all apart in front of the class, and said, "This is your gears, how the gears work, and blah blah blah. And here's the idler gear and whatnot." I left that at school too.
It was a donation to the program.
I guess, I was too busy playing pool and practicing my drum kit that when I was going to school than to actually focus on school.
Of course.
But eventually I got through. We're getting close to that time where we got to take a break here, but we do invite your calls when we come back because it's always fun to talk to you and always fun to have our regular callers. But also, if you're sitting there thinking I should phone, we're easy to talk to. We don't bite, and we will answer your gardening questions as best we can. And if we don't know the answer, Ken and I are never ones to stab in the dark. If we are stabbing in the dark, we tell people we're stabbing in the dark here. But we really try and get good information, solid information. We've done that, Ken, when we worked together in the garden center. We did the same thing, and we would tell new employees, don't guess, don't mess around. No. If you don't know it, don't feel bad. This is a big topic. It's a huge, like being a doctor or something. You can't know everything.
No, you can't. No, and especially, for people that need the backup, right? They need to have literature to follow. And again, we were just talking about maybe don't Google it. Maybe take an actual textbook and read it.
Actual university. But So that's what we suggest to people, and just don't guess. And it's if you want to answer properly, and if you answer the question improperly, that customer will always remember that, and things won't go your way too often.
Yeah, exactly, and it happens. I think it's one of the issues with all garden centers. Hopefully they have at least one or two experts on hand, real horticulturists who know. And again, hopefully they're not guessing or going by myths.
Or somebody who isn't afraid to go to the books. Yeah, and then they'll learn. Before you know it, they have that bank of knowledge in them. But don't be guessing. And on that note, we're going to take this short break for the news and whatnot. We'll be back with the Garden Show after this short break. We're back with you on a beautiful Saturday morning. It's amazing, this weather. It's it's not really cold yet. And the Farmers Almanac, we're going to go to that in a minute. But the Farmers Almanac suggests we're going to have a warm winter. We'll go to that. But first of all, we're going to go to the phone lines and talk to Dan. A different Dan, but a Dan at that. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you today?
Excellent.
Good, thanks.
Just got a little tip for you on that driving around and collecting leaves in bags. We did that one year, and we got some nice leaves in bags, and took them home, dumped them in the compost, and went out and checked it later in the fall, and everything was dead. There was some dog poop in there that we didn't find when we dumped it into the compost bin. So,
there's
no guarantee it's going to be clean.
No, that's true, and that goes with manure as well. You got to be careful with your source of manure. That's a great tip, Dan. And you just gotta watch what you're getting.
Have a peek before you throw the bag in the truck.
Yeah, or you can go and collect your leaves. Tell somebody, look, I'll rake your leaves up, and then you can avoid the dog poop.
Oh, there's a thought. Yeah. Okay.
Sounds like work.
yeah, too much work. Okay.
Good idea, man. Take care.
Yeah,
okay.
Thanks for calling. Yeah, that's the way it goes. And then even with that, the whole thing with composting leaves is different than other types of composting, because when the leaves have no green in them, they're incapable of breaking down the way normal compost does, right? So if you had, say, some dog poop or something in there, and you had a pure green leaves and pure lawn clippings and all that stuff that's green, that's going to give you that heating factor and probably a stinking factor too. I'm just guessing. But things will happen and things will break down faster if it's green than if it's brown. So the brown leaves take a much longer time to break down. And they do develop leaf mold, which is a really good garden nutrient source. Fabulous. So, but it takes time. You use predominantly fungus with leaf molds, and you use predominantly bacteria for other types of composting with the green material. So pick and choose and do what you can do. But that does sound like a bad situation.
Yeah, getting dog poop. I often say in the wintertime, if you got some doggy doo-doos on your lawn and whatnot, which we pick up every day we do. But if you do in the wintertime and they're frozen, you can practice with your 9-iron.
Oh, and shoot them in the neighbor's yard.
They're nice and solid. Just a couple of 9-iron shots, or even a chipper, a wedge. A wedge. Yeah. Okay.
That's just a joke, everybody.
Yeah, it's a joke. Don't be doing that. We got to go to the phone lines, of course, but and I'm going to be talking about the Farmers Almanac when I finish with this phone call. Rob, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just have a quick question. I'm wondering if it's too late to trim bushes at this time of year, like fire bush, that kind of thing.
It's just like what we say about trimming shrubs and plants in the fall is that if they don't need to be pruned or trimmed, don't do it. So in other words, it's only if they look really horrible or if they're really, really huge and overgrown, you have to do it, then you do it.
And avoid snow damage, that kind of thing.
Yeah, if it looks ugly, you have to do a little bit of trimming. The recommendation is to do light trimming just to kind of get rid of the bad hair day stuff and try to just keep it relatively neat and tidy to get through the winter. And then in the springtime, you do your major pruning, and that keeps the health of the plant there. Plants are all sealed up. Like they develop all these tight little buds and things and all their bark, everything seals up for the winter so they don't desiccate, and so they maintain all these nutrients in the stems to help them get through the winter. So they're trimming them off. It's not the end of the world for them. Most plants survive, but it does open some situations to disease and whatnot. So if you have to do it, yes, you can do it now. It's fine when the plants are dormant. It's probably better than just prior to dormancy. So you're still in a good timing. It's just that sometimes you let the brunt of winter finish around the end of February or early March and then do all your pruning and trimming at that time.
And it really does depend on the winter.
It does. And if you don't, even in the springtime, if you don't have to prune it, if it's still fine, don't prune it. It will grow slower if you don't prune it. Yeah. And that's what happens. A lot of times people are trying to prune for size. And it means, it's getting too big, so I got to make it smaller. So you trim it really small, and it bounces right back to the same size or even bigger in just one season because the winter pruning encourages rapid growth. If you don't prune it, it only grows the 6 inches that it would normally grow. So that's the philosophy behind pruning for management and control is to just don't prune and they don't grow so much. But if you prune a lot, they grow a lot.
And you can add to that the spring pruning, dormant pruning promotes growth. Summer pruning, seasonal pruning has a controlling effect on the plant.
So more like July timing if you're having issues with things getting too big.
Yep.
Yeah,
that controls.
Hopefully that's good information.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Yep. Okay.
Bye-bye.
2026 Old Farmers Almanac, calculated on a new and improved plan for the year of our Lord 2026. Being the second after leap year, being the second year after leap year, and until July 1st, the 158th year of Canadian Confederation, fitted for Ottawa with special corrections and calculations to answer for all the Canadian provinces, containing, besides the large number of astronomical calculations and the farmer's calendar for every month in a year, a variety of new, useful, and entertaining matter. Established in 1792 by Robert B. Thomas, 1766 to 1846. He passed away. So there you go. That's the history behind the Old Farmers Almanac. Now, to take that to another session here, here's the contents on the table of contents. They've got adventure. They've got talking about the various adventures, amusement, the fish scales of justice, essay contest with her, mind manglers, and then we have astrology and astronomy. Two whole sections on astrology and astronomy. Now, John Tanner would not agree with this because astrology to him is folklore. It's nothing. Astronomy, yes. Now that's the actual science, right?
Yeah.
They also have a calendar in here. Farming. They talk farming, fishing, food, gardening. Lots on gardening, I must say.
Yeah.
Some of it is okay. Some of it not that good, but it's interesting reading anyway. And home remedies, and husbandry, gestation and mating tables. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? So all sorts of stuff in here, special reports and the weather. And that's on page 2 and 3. So as we get through here, I just want to get to the next section. On page 66, they talk about some very interesting things about honeybees and how honey is made and whatnot. Very interesting story. But I have to say that most of the ads, I'd say 90% of the ads, are American suppliers that you can't get the stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So they just tell you all about this beautiful solar lighting and everything, and then you go to the website and it's in California or something.
Yeah.
And, it's just hard to ship it up here.
Yeah.
So that's that. I'm going to talk more about that. But, of course, we do have a caller calling in here, and we're going to go to the phone lines and talk about Edith. Talk to Edith. Hi, Edith.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey.
Morning.
I have a 10-year-old Monstera, and I am now 90, and I have to find a new home for it. And I was wondering if I could leave my name and number with your answering service.
Yeah, you can.
absolutely.
You can leave your name and number anytime. And boy, oh boy, what a milestone! Congratulations on reaching that wonderful milestone of 90 years old. Good for you. Long life. Bet you've got lots of stories, eh?
Well, a few, yes, and a few husbands too.
A few husbands. Good for you, girl.
Yeah. Makes sense.
However, it's my Monstera. I really want to find a home for it, and it's sitting on a coffee table, but it goes to the ceiling and it's as wide as the windows.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'll tell you what. What's your phone number? And we will mention that a couple of times. Do you mind us putting it on the air?
Oh, I guess not.
And your first name? Again, I should know that because I just answered the phone.
It's Edith.
Edith, of course. Edith has a Monstera.
712-0207.
That's 250?
250, yes it is.
250-712-0207. Big Monstera. That's a beautiful plant, and it's in good shape?
Oh, yes. It's a favorite of mine, but it's got to go. It's too big.
Well, what you want to do is take a cutting and start a young one and then let the big one go to somebody.
Start all over, no, thank you.
Okay.
The original leaf that I brought to this residence is still on the plant at the bottom. It's getting some darker spots on it, but
well, you
it's
see,
amazing.
Edith, you've got this plant that has a history and whatever. I'm doing the same thing with my larger plants that I can't accommodate. I have been taking cuttings. So I got young ones coming on, my stick euphorbias and things like that, easy rooting. So I got them coming on to replace the big plants that I'm getting rid of. But look at Edith. We'll talk about your Monstera and 250-712-0207. It's Edith.
It's important where she lives. Is she?
Where are you located, Edith?
On Gordon Drive.
Oh, so you're in Kelowna. Okay, so Victoria people, don't listen to this. Well, you can if you want to drive to Kelowna and pick up a Monstera.
But the thought of taking cuttings and starting over is kind of scary to me. Maybe somebody got room for it in a big foyer or something.
Sure, absolutely, or a motel or a hotel or whatever in their lobby.
Fabulous, great idea.
It's a beautiful plant, easy care. In your situation, Edith, do you have it in a bright, light lit situation, or is it just?
No, it's not.
There you go.
It's thriving anyway.
There you go. Yeah, so it's an easy one to look after. Edith, we got to move on here, but I appreciate the call, and we will mention that again, that you have this Monstera. I don't have room for it. I would love to. Ken doesn't have room for it.
I've got a huge one too, and it's maybe one more year, and then it's going to be too big too.
And thank you for the time.
Yeah. Okay, dear.
Thanks,
thank you for the call.
Take care.
Appreciate
Bye.
it. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. We're going to have to take a break before we go back to the phone lines, and we will do that. We'll go to the phone lines as soon as we come back from this short break. We'll be back with The Garden Show after this short break. Wonderful. We are back with you, and I'm going to back off on the Farmers Almanac if we don't finish going through what I've been talking about. We'll do it next week. But tell you what, the most important part of this show that Ken and I do every week and have been doing since 1983 are the callers, and we just appreciate so much our callers, and we are going to definitely go right to our callers right now, and we have I'm just flipping through it here. We have Jack on the line, and of course I saw that before. Is this our Jack and the Beanstalk?
Yeah, I just got back last night at 11 o'clock from a holiday trip, a cruise, but I wanted, first of all, did you ever find a home for those callows that I left at your place a couple of weeks ago?
I have a home. It's right in my home.
Gosh, okay, well, that's fine.
Oh, no. I appreciate you dropping those off, Jack. And I do have them here, and I will distribute them. I know Teresa Hodge wants a bunch, so I'm going to save them
I
for her.
taught Charlie, which was very difficult to say the least.
Oh, you taught Charlie? Oh, my goodness. So you taught him, what did you taught him? Taught him politics?
PE. And he was a good student, too.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Miles as well. They were all there.
Yeah.
Look,
you've got stories to tell about teaching high school, I tell you.
Yeah, they don't want to hear them, though.
Some of them don't hear.
Being in Barcelona, where the cruise started, I did get some more of those beans.
Yes, and I saw that, and I can't read Spanish.
No, I can't either. But all you got to do, I think what it says is in May or something, dig a hole, put them in, and water them and watch them grow.
Oh, man, they're the best beans. I just had a feed last night, probably the last feed.
I've got lots that I took off, and I'm just going to go down and get the seeds off them. And so I've got lots of it. They have that seedy Sunday or whatever it is, seedy Saturday. I got lots of.
Oh, that's
everybody
perfect.
in Kelowna ought to be growing these beans.
Oh, they're the best beans in the world.
They are. And I got some broad beans too. You don't find broad beans sold very much in Kelowna, so I'm going to try my own.
And they're good for you, and they're in a legume, so they add nitrogen to the soil, I believe. And
exactly.
Yeah, it's a good.
You know all that stuff. I just grow them.
Yeah. Well, you're the teacher. Come on.
Okay. Now look, just to comment on a news story that has been on the news this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about the Europeans and their passport. That's no BS. It's very new, and I got caught up in it yesterday. I was proud of myself. I got to the airport 3 hours, 10 minutes ahead of time. Mm-hmm. I got through security and got my tickets and everything in about 3/4 of an hour to 50 minutes sitting around, and I noticed this lineup. And I thought, what the heck's this lineup? I don't even know which my gate is yet. So I said, I don't care where my gate is. It's probably down there. I'm getting in this lineup. Now, this lineup was for passports. And it took a full hour and 10 minutes for me to get through that lineup. Mm. And so, so I was getting there 3 hours and 10 minutes ahead of time, and then getting to the gate 15 minutes before we boarded. That's a scary experience when you look at that. It's more than a block long. Mm-hmm. Huge airport. And then it's a very busy airport.
Which airport?
Lisbon, this one.
Lisbon, okay.
I talked to other travelers, and they had experienced the same thing as well.
And what's the cause behind?
I didn't know what it was for, but apparently it's brand new, and the Europeans want to know who's coming and who's going, and they're trying to get the drug trafficking. They want to know if people are overstaying their limits on their passports or their visas. So they're serious about it. Mm-hmm. So if you're going there, and they're going to have to be electronic something when you go there next year. I don't know what that's all about, but right now you got to have your passport validated and stamped, and then you can go on to your flight. And it is long and it is brutal.
Oh boy! Well, that's good.
Anybody going to be going to Europe? It's not bad getting in, but getting out. That's when the lineups start.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, lots of aviation issues going on out there, and so we gotta just maybe we should just stay home.
Maybe look at DC more.
Yeah,
thanks, guys. Great show. Got in late last night, but had to wake up.
Good for you. I appreciate that, Jack. And I'll tell you, I looked at that package of beans that you showed me on text, and that I want to find out what the name actually is.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
Well, I think it starts with a B. I'll bring it over and let you see it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, buddy.
All
appreciate
right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
Thanks for calling. Bye-bye.
There you go.
Yeah.
And somehow I've lost my messenger thing here, and here we go. We have Ronnie calling in for Victoria. And Ronnie, I want to tell you, we got those calendars in today.
Yeah.
What a surprise, and what a lovely thing to do for us. And they're beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are very beautiful, and we're happy that they actually arrived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got the postal thing going on, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you were asking how others can order the calendar?
Yes, can they order the calendar? Yeah.
Yeah, so if they email volunteer at Conservancy, CONSERVANCY
Yep.
.bc.ca.
Yep.
Cherie will provide them with, all they need to do is let her know like how many they want and where they're being mailed to. The cost is, including tax, $22.40 per calendar, plus the mailing costs.
Great.
So if they
Christmas
contact
gift.
her, she will advise them on how to do payment, which will be through Interac or a check.
So this is the absolute email address: volunteer, spelt like volunteer.
Yep.
At Conservancy,
Yep.
spelt conservancy.
Yep.
.bc.ca.
Yep.
There's no .com or anything on there. No,
Nope,
just
it's
.ca. .ca, of course.
Canada.
Of course. There you go.
There you go.
Ronnie,
and
we
any
appreciate
local
that.
people wanting to purchase, they're available in the gift shop at the Abkhazia Tea House, which is open now from Wednesdays until Sundays. Or they can get them at the gate at Abkhazia Garden on the weekends, because we only have greeters on the weekends now, because it's too darn cold. I'm a Friday afternoon, so I'm not unhappy about that. And or in December, we're going to be having our festive market, which you will be provided information in down the road, but that'll be the weekend of the 13th and 14th of December, and 20th and 21st. So locals or anybody in town would be able to pick up a calendar at that market.
Yeah, sounds great.
And I'm going to put this stuff in an email and send it to you, so you've got it in front of you.
Perfect, and then I'll have it right here. Look at the photography on this calendar is just incredible. Depth of field and everything is just these maples. This one of a pathway with these beautiful fall-colored maples, and beautifully done. So you obviously had a professional do that, right?
It was all the folks from the Victoria Camera Club, of which I'm a member, and I haven't done diddly squat with for a while, but that's beside the point.
There you go. I mean, they're just beautiful pictures. There's no question about
very
it.
lovely.
That's a great gift for gardeners. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay,
Absolutely.
Ronnie, thank you for the call.
You're most welcome.
Okay, dear.
Chat soon.
Yeah,
Bye.
You betcha.
Take care.
Bye-bye
Bye-bye.
now. Yeah, beautiful. Ronnie's becoming a good friend of the Garden Show, and we're hopefully good friends of Abkhazia Gardens, which is important to us. Let's just go, just for fun, the weather predictions for BC. 200 and, I'm just thinking here, 216 is the weather predictions right here. And they've got southern British Columbia. As I said, the book is full of American stuff. I mean, every state in the Union is mentioned, everything.
Yep.
And they do mention Canada, and they do mention the segments, and they've got southern British Columbia. Now, southern British Columbia, there's so much weather differences between Vancouver, Victoria, the Okanagan, the Kootenays. I mean, give me a break. The East Kootenays are almost like Alberta.
Yeah, and the West Kootenays are very kind of rainy or more precipitation than other areas, and yet can be frigid depending on which part of the valley you're in.
Here is, I don't have my glasses. But
so lovely.
Here is the prediction for November, okay? Temperatures averaging 5.5 Celsius, 0.5 below average, 0.5 degrees below average. Precipitation, 140 millimeters, 40 millimeters below average. North, 40 millimeters above the south, in the south. And they're talking about this kind of ambiguity, like, okay, maybe. And the results, they're saying they have 80 to 85% good positive results from last year's predictions. Well, that's them talking. Now, whether, no, I don't want to be too negative because it is a fun thing. Okay, I don't want to say
it's a coffee table read.
It's a coffee table, or
something
maybe
to browse through.
Maybe the throne, the ivory throne. Beside. It's like when I give you my greenhouse magazine. So it's right beside where you go. And this is the Farmers Almanac. Really is a fun read. It's a fun thing to do, and I don't suggest you don't buy it. But take it with a grain of salt. A lot of this stuff is a grain of salt. For instance, it says, the Amish secret to prostate woes. I haven't read it, but the Amish people must know about it because they said the Amish secret to prostate woes. Well, there you go. We'll have a look at that at some point. And there's another one here. It says, how to live to be 100 years old or more. Ken, I will talk about this after the break, but one of the things is always maintain a good sense of humor. And I think you and I have done that. We've got a good sense of humor. So we're going to live to about 90. Now, never be too good to start at the bottom. Well, we both started at the bottom.
Yep.
Well, I didn't. I grew into it, but I was born into it. But exercise every single day, even when you don't feel like it.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's
advice.
a good one.
Yeah, really good.
Don't spend more money than you make. That's a good one. Eat around the mold. Don't go wasting food. Eat around the mold. I don't know about that one, but that, depends on the mold.
Yeah, it depends on the mold.
Your family is the most precious thing you will ever have in life. Don't ever be afraid to be your true self. And education is important, but not necessary. Life can be an education in itself. Well, we know all about that. So there's a few more here we'll talk about after we come back from this break. We got to do that now. We'll be back with the Garden Show after this short break. Okay, here's another one here in the Farmers Almanac, which we're having fun with today. And this is how to live to be 100 years old. And they're talking about, of course, again, it's an American thing because it says, we could all learn a thing or two from Andy Anderson of Bernica, California, or Bernicia, California, who lived to the age of 106. He shared his wisdom on his 100th birthday. And so I mentioned the first bunch here. You must be able to forgive even if it's difficult to do. Okay, these are all good things. Love is not always easy. Sometimes you have to work on it. And try not to take yourself so seriously. My full name is William Bradford James Anderson, and my initials always remind me to ask myself, why be just anybody? That's his initials. So there you go. Another one is in the Farmers Almanac, chew on this. In the Who volunteered for that study department, a connection was found between chewing on sticks and brain health. The research showed that simply chewing on wood, as opposed to something soft such as gum, stimulates an increase in a key antioxidant in the brain, which in turn improves memory. And you thought subbing cottage cheese for potato chips was good for you. Well, chewing on a chunk of wood. Well, that's what I'm going to do now. I'll go chew a piece of Weigela and chew away and, help preserve my brain cells.
Yeah, and just remember my my words from a few weeks ago was don't eat things you don't know what they are, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like especially, plants, because, it's funny that we always hear about how poisonous plants are.
Yeah.
And like, oh, you shouldn't be touching that. That's poisonous or whatever. And it's like, well, just hang on. I'm not going to eat it. It's a house plant.
Yeah.
It's for the house. If I have a dog or a cat, all plants, you have to be careful with them. They should never be eating them. And people shouldn't eat them either. So just be aware, just like mushrooms, right? Don't eat mushrooms if you don't know exactly what they are, and don't eat plants or shrubs if you don't know what they are. So
what you're doing, if you're chewing on something, chew on a pencil. Because I chewed lots of pencils in high school and
That's
in
true.
school.
And it's only made you smarter.
Yeah, of course. And the carbon part was really good too. But you don't, you can chew on a piece of pine or whatever. Don't be chewing on your ricinus. Don't be chewing on your digitalis. Don't be, there's a lot of things you don't chew on. Yeah. But you can chew on a piece of pine. I don't think that's going to hurt you. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Because got all these people out there chewing pine and dropping dead. Yeah, we don't want that out there.
Nope.
Yeah. Anyway, so we've had fun with this. The BC weather predictions again. They're talking about a mild winter this year. Okay, it's going to get a little chilly. They say in November, and a little chilly in January. But what are they talking about? They talking about Victoria? They talking about Vancouver? They talking about Chilliwack?
And that's a pretty safe call because, like, if you look over the past, say, 500 years or whatever, 200 years that they've been tracking weather, and it's just steadily gotten warmer and warmer and warmer and warmer and warmer and warmer in the past 5 years. As 5 years ago was like the warmest year on record. The next was the warmest. The next was so I would say you got a pretty good. Your odds are good that it's going to be above averagely warm. Doesn't mean it's not going to be minus 50 and like severely cold, which can happen. But if you do the averages from fall till spring, probably going to be a bit warmer.
Yeah, it's just it's fun. There's no question. The Farmers Almanac is fun. There's one part here where they're talking about some medication, and it says popular COQ10 pills leave millions suffering. I guess everybody's. So it's an interesting article there. Just great stuff to
they're
read.
Little articles, and
take it with a grain of salt.
Short and sweet, and it is, like you say, it's a coffee table read. Yeah.
So the general weather report and forecast. For regional forecasts, see pages such as that. But winter temperatures will be above normal across much of Canada, except near to below in southeastern Ontario. Above normal precipitation will occur from Atlantic Canada throughout Nunavut, in southern Quebec and western Ontario, throughout the southern prairies and the extreme southern portion of BC and southern Yukon. These are wetter than normal, which we need. Snowfall will be above normal over the Atlantic Canada throughout northern Quebec and Nunavut, western Ontario and the northwestern prairies and northernmost BC into southern Yukon. We're looking for snow here. We do need snow. There's no question about it. And they're saying it's not. They haven't mentioned southern. They don't mention southern BC on that one.
Yeah, spring, so many different climates.
Spring will be warmer than usual over eastern Atlantic Canada and from the western prairies and northern BC through the Yukon. Precipitation will be above normal from western Atlantic Canada through Quebec and eastern Nunavut. Across northern Ontario, the western prairies, and from BC through the Yukon and Northwest Territories. It's summer will be hotter than normal over southern Quebec, from western Ontario through the prairies, and southern BC from Nunavut to the Northwest Territories and the Yukon. Rainfall will be above normal across Atlantic Canada, southwestern Quebec, southern Ontario, from the southern prairies. They're really focusing on eastern Canada. They don't think we exist out here.
No, it's anyway,
but it's still fun. I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm not saying don't. Just take it with a grain of salt. The map of Canada shows mild and dry for northern BC, mild and wet for southern BC, mild and wet for the southern prairie provinces, mild and snowy in the northern provinces, mild and dry northern Ontario, mild and snowy in southern Ontario, and mild and wet in southern Quebec, and mild and snowy in Labrador, and mild and snowy in all the maritime provinces. Yep. So there you have it. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac. So, first time I've ever picked one up, Ken. I've never.
It's kind of nice. At Christmas time, they're often used as a stocking stuffer sort of thing, because they're always something just to look at and to read. Like I say, a coffee table book or something. It's kind of nice to pick up a book and read it, and it's not online. It's not a screen.
It's not a screen. But it's as good. It's about the same level as looking up something online, because it's so full of ambiguity, full of mistakes, full of wrong information, but interesting. An interesting read.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, there you go.
So, there you go.
All right. So,
250-862-2525 to get through to us today. We are here to answer your gardening questions, but also talking about the Farmer's Almanac, which is kind of fun. I also read an article the other day on the National Geographic Facebook page on Sansevieria. Now, of course, they've forgotten that the Sansevieria is now a
Dracaena.
Dracaena, thank you. However, Sansevieria, we all know what Sansevierias are, so they're one of the best air cleansers. So if you have Sansevierias in the house, that helps keep the air clean, the pollutants and things out of the air. There you go. That's
I think a lot of plants, definitely having a lot of plants or having plants is really good for you in a bunch of ways. I mean, it just, not only does it look good, keeps you interested, gives you something to do, something to pay attention to, because you can't just walk by them every day unless they're a cactus, I guess.
Yeah. Well, they don't
it's
bite.
good.
They don't. They
Well,
do.
some cacti
Yeah.
will bite a little.
Yeah,
They'll nibble.
That's right. but it's still a wonderful thing, and it's good for the mind, good for the body, good for everything to have plants in the house. Addie, I don't have to tell Addie to have plants in the house because she has plants in the house.
I have tons of plants in the house. As a matter of fact, I think I'm just probably the healthiest person in the world, and I'm fighting this head cold this week.
Oh dear,
no.
dear. Well, the thing, Addie, the thing is, these plants are going to be helpful to you, and if anybody can get through this, you will. You're tough.
Oh, yes, I'm a good old tough Ukrainian.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ken, I sent you a picture of a plant of mine that I had outside all summer, and it's actually still out there. It hasn't frozen, but I've taken little cuttings off of it, and I put them into pots probably back in August or September. And now that I've got they're growing and everything, but they're really reaching for the sun. And I've got them in a sunny location, but they're really getting quite long, and I keep cutting them off from the top. What can I do to those?
Well,
that plant is called. I sent you a picture. I have no idea what that plant is called.
Yeah, you must have you sent it quite a while ago, wasn't that, or a week or two ago?
A couple of days ago.
Oh, a couple of days ago. Okay, I'll just see if I can find it. Is that on a text message, do you think?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Yep. Ken's
Is that
looking it up.
that Swedish ivy we were talking about?
No, it's not the Swedish ivy. It's the plant. Some of them are variegated, and some of them are just green, and they have long, pointy leaves. And like I said, I don't know what they're called, but anyway.
Doesn't look like I got it, Addie. Sorry. But yeah, go ahead and send that off to me, and then I can give you a little bit more info just on that specific species. Some of these plants, they're naturally sort of semi-climbing, so they'll often send these shoots out really tall and skinny, and they're trying to sort of feel around what their environment is so that they can try to climb up maybe a tree trunk in nature or grow over top of shrubs, that sort of thing. So the tall, skinny shoots may not be anything that's a bad thing. It can be just part of their natural habit. And sometimes it is, if plants are in low light, they'll tend to stretch a little bit. But I don't know. I think we need to just for sure identify the plant first so we know what it is. And then at that point, I can give you more advice on that. So
This isn't a climbing plant. I've seen it grow along the ground, and I've had it in pots where they grow down. So it's just that I'm worried that they are going to get so long and spindly. Should I give them any fertilizer or anything?
No, I would just hold off and just keep on rolling here from now until no fertilizer till we get into February maybe, and just keep an eye on it. Just water as needed. Let it dry a bit between waterings. Just sort of general advice for all plants right now. And I would stick with that. As far as, you can always snip off a branch here or there. It's not a problem to do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes plants just want to do what they want to do. And I always let them do it first and just see what's going to happen. Because sometimes even a crawling or creeping plant, it'll send a shoot straight up and it'll grow it tall, and then the branch will slowly lay down and become more pendulous or more creeping at over time. So it might be just one of these things where it's outreaching for again to kind of learn its environment a bit and to potentially end up on the ground if there was ground nearby.
Okay, the other thing, I have some geranium cuttings that I took way back in July.
Yep.
Just wondered whether and they're beautiful little plants now. They're still blooming. They're outside. But I'm wondering whether I can bring them into the house now and make them house plants because they're gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, I would. I just, when you do bring them in, you're going to keep them just a tad bit on the drier side and a nice bright location. So I did mine the other day. I actually had some that I brought in that I wanted to put in storage. So I kind of stripped them down, and I don't want them to bloom in storage, so I stashed those ones away. But then I had some growing in pots, and they're just doing so beautifully. I just brought the whole pots in and set them. I've got like a sliding glass door, and just put them right in front of that sliding glass door on the floor, and they're happy, and oh my God, they're blooming. So nice.
So should you be fertilizing them because they're blooming so profusely?
No, I don't do anything with them because I want them eventually to slow down for the winter. So I've still got them quite a bit on the dry side. Like I haven't watered them. Like they're bone dry right now. Let's put it that way. And I will probably give them a little bit of water maybe tomorrow, just a little bit, just enough to keep them alive. That's what I want to do.
Okay, so no, the ones I put in storage, I've put them into the shed, and they seem to survive every year. But these are the ones that I took cuttings off of, and the ones that went into the shed, I've totally stripped the leaves and cut them down to about 3 inches off the base.
Yeah,
that's the work for me, and they don't freeze in the shed. So
perfect.
Yeah, I wanted 2 in the house just to have blooming ones because
why not? They'll bloom all winter. You just grow them as a houseplant. Why not?
Oh, will they? Oh, super. Sure. Okay, I'm happy to hear that. Super. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great week.
Thanks, Addie.
Thanks, Addie. Take care. Bye-bye.
And we're going to take a break right now, but we've got Shelley and Doug online, waiting online, and we will get to you when we come back with the Garden Show after this short break.
Alrighty, we are back, and we're just going to go straight to the phone lines. I believe we have Shelley from Victoria on the line.
Hey, good morning, Don and Ken.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Thank you for such a warm and welcoming show. It feels very like we're just invited into your room there and part of it. So I appreciate that so much.
Well, thank you. Appreciate
and
that.
I've listened, and I know how much you guys like to search the Farmers Almanac, and I just read on their social media page that 2026 will be their last year of publication.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it might be if someone wants it for a Christmas stocking stuffer, this would be the year to get it because it's not going to be published anymore.
But it'll be online?
I don't know if they even said that. I think I didn't recognize that part, but this is its last year of being published or being even done. It was almost like a thank you for 112 years or something, I think it said.
More than that. 1792 is when they started.
Well, 1792, so that's a long time.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. If that's the case, then buying a last edition of the Farmers Almanac might be worthwhile as a memento.
Yeah, yeah. So appreciate everything, and I love your little snippets, the journal from the woman that you read each week as well.
Oh, yeah.
Those are great.
Well, I've got a little bit to talk about. That's Elaine Cameron. She was out in the garden, and the weather was interesting, so I'm going to talk about that a little bit before the end of the show, hopefully. However, we don't have a lot of time left. But, we can always talk about next week because we'll be here again next week.
Yeah. Well, love listening to you. Thanks so much.
Okay, dear. Thank you for we really appreciate the call. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Shelley. Bye. And Doug is on the line now. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you today?
We're excellent.
Good, thanks. Yeah.
Good. I normally grow tomatoes, and next year I'm going to try a different crop or another crop, and that's called garlic.
Yeah, easy.
So I want to plant some this fall.
You in the Okanagan, Doug? Are you in the Okanagan?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, right here in Kelowna. Just walk, and I'll be growing them in pots, so walk me through it.
Oh, well, in pots. Want to have a decent size pot, eh, Ken?
Yeah,
they're big. They're big.
Yeah.
Big pots, yeah.
Be fine.
Really good free draining soil is going to be key. Not always the best and easiest thing to grow in a pot, but this will be your challenge is to we can give you some advice like on this, and then hopefully you have some good success, but you might have to tweak the system each year moving forward. But yes, planting ASAP right now is good. Protecting them like up against the house a little bit would be all you really need to do, as long as they have a little bit of moisture throughout the winter months. Using a potting soil blend is the way to go. I might even take potting soil. Oh boy, it's a little challenging, with maybe a little bit of compost in it. So just take regular potting soil that's a porous mix. It's got to be free draining, but it's got to hold moisture at the same time, so it's challenging.
Do I put moisture in the soil before I put the bulbs in?
Oh yeah. You'd want to moisten the soil. That's generally a good idea if we're going to be planting anything into potting soil and the potting soil is bone dry. We want to moisten it a bit first prior to utilizing it, and then that way when you do go to water, it'll actually absorb. Because these bulbs are going to actually root in quite nicely this fall yet. And they might even poke their little heads out of the soil. So with the pot, you're going to want to keep them towards the center of the pot, So not so much around the outer perimeter of it because of frost access, even though they're quite winter hardy. You're going to be planting them about 4 to even 5 inches deep, probably closer to 5, just again because this is all going to settle too when you do give it a good watering. And just keeping them outside, like I say, if you're up against the house, it just adds a little bit extra buffer. And you can even sometimes put something up against the pot a little bit if you can. Are you on a deck or are you outside, right on the ground?
I'm in it. Well, they'll be in a garage. That's even better, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah. That'll be pretty good as long as it's cold. You know, it can't
Get
be
them out.
too
Get them
warm.
out in the spring, real early though, like March.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just
Good.
so they get a little bit of freezing before they start shooting too much.
Yeah.
And this may sound like a dumb question, but do you take the garlic bulb apart and just plant the cloves individually, or the whole bulb?
Yes. You take it apart and plant the individual toes, they call them.
Toes. Okay.
And the outside toes are the main ones, the big fatties. Sometimes you get a garlic cluster with toes on the inside too, and you don't use those. You just use the outside ones.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go give it a whirl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Easy peasy, and I think you're going to have fun with it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, you betcha. And we're going to go to our last caller, Sandy. Hi, Sandy. How are you?
Good morning. I'm not doing too bad. I'm glad I got in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the old Farmers Almanac.
Yeah.
The old Farmers Almanac is not stopping.
Oh.
The Farmers Almanac is.
Oh, okay.
It's
What's the difference?
Two different books.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
But the old Farmers Almanac is continuing on.
Yeah, because they don't mention anything about it in this 2026. But so there's two. There's the Farmers Almanac and there's the old Farmers Almanac. Are they two different publication companies?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is the Farmers Almanac more Canadian?
No, it's a States one too, but it's not as well known.
Okay, interesting, Sandy.
So, and there's a guy that does lots of garden videos for the old Farmers Almanac. His name is Ben.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pretty much look up anything, and he'll have a little video on how to plant garlic or how to prune tomatoes or how to like all the little short.
I'd rather listen to the Grower's Coach, but that's okay.
Yeah, I know, but like for people who don't know garden stuff,
yeah,
that is not a false like plant your things upside down and maybe they'll grow better. You know,
okay, there you go.
It's not one of those sites.
Yeah. No, that's right. Yeah,
because I get the old Farmer's Almanac on my whatever, and my internet comes through, and
so it's online too, eh?
Yeah, it gives me a daily, what you plant this time of year, or
Well, that's fun. That's fun,
recipe
Sandy.
for this month or whatever. So.
Okay, well, I appreciate that info, Sandy. I'm glad you got on to tell us that.
There you go.
Thank you, dear.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Thanks for calling.
Well, we're getting close to the end of the show today. We appreciate all the callers. It was fun, and we are anticipating as we go through into the winter season. We're anticipating the family Christmas garden show, which is happening on the 20th of December this year, and looking forward to that. Well, lots of guests on and whatnot. And Ken and I just appreciate being here so much every Saturday morning and talking with you. And we appreciate the comments too, that people are actually listening, and we appreciate that. So just before we get into the closing thing here, the cuttings that I took, Ken, I'm so excited about my geranium cuttings. I've had difficulties all through the spring and summer growing geranium cuttings in the greenhouse. This batch that I put in 3 weeks ago is rooting already, and it's great. Yeah. They're great. So I'm thinking timing, whatever.
Well, you've always said in the fall is a good time to do it. And you remember you used to even say that you just take your plant that's sitting outside and take pots, put it right around it. And it seems like even just keeping it in the same environment, taking those cuttings, sticking them in a pot, they just root in and grow. Yeah. And September, October seems to be ideal. And obviously they're still going. Yeah.
And you pop them out of the pot and there's nice white roots showing. It's beautiful. Yep. We're going to give you the tips and the plants of the week. And my tip of the week is keep a supply of composted mulch like nature's gold in a place where it doesn't freeze, just in case we get a hard spell this winter and some tender things will need some cover. But as Ken said, you got to cover some certain things anyway. But I'm just talking about some of the things that might need some extra cover. Plant of the week this week is geraniums. Hard to believe how beautiful they are right now. Seems that they really like this cool weather and they make great cut flowers.
There you go. I also have a tip and a plant. My tip of the week is to you don't really have to deal with your roses right now. Just a little bit of light trimming is all they need just to tidy them up a little bit. I'd be inclined to let them just go right through the winter as is. And as Dawn was saying, definitely add some mulch over top of the base of the plant to protect it from the severe cold. Some of that Nature's Gold works very well, but there's other compost products in your area that might work just as well.
That's right. Yeah.
And also the plant of the week is the hydrangeas. Just let them leave the blooms on. They look great right now, and they're just going to look good for a lot of the winter. That's my tips and plans for this week. Remember to check growercoach.com, Grower Coach on YouTube, and remember to buy local. Very important these days.
And I just went and cut my hydrangeas back. Oh boy, I'm messing up, I'll tell you. We're gonna do the Shigo quote of the week is, every person should read Plato's The Republic, and especially the story about the cave people. So everybody's going to go out and get Plato's Republic and look at the cave people. Well,
yes.
Tim, it's time to say goodbye, and we will see you again next week with more of the Garden Show.